Sometimes the hypocrisy and the double standards prevalent within the internet wrestling community astound me. Sadly, they don't surprise me, but they do astound me. And it is amazing to me how much things can change in literally just 1 month's time. Now, help me understand something here. Batista in 2010 turned heel and everybody loved it. They loved that he was talking about Cena kissing babies and hugging fat girls, and everybody was so upset and so up in arms when Batista left the company. Like, oh my God, there goes Batista. What's going to happen now? This sucks. Da, da, da. And for the past few years, you see it all the time. People talking about wanting Batista to come back. They're begging for him to come back. We need him back. He's not a PG person. We need that type of presence in the WWE. So then we get the announcement at the beginning of the year that Batista is going to come back to the WWE on the January 20th edition of Raw. And man, oh man, can you imagine the outpouring of emotion and the pure joy and adulation coming from so many fans in the internet wrestling community because the Animal's coming back. Oh my God, Dave Batista's coming back. This is going to be awesome. He's a real star. Screw John Cena. Screw Randy Orton. Batista's coming back. The Animal's coming back. All is awesome with the world again. You just had to know that that wasn't going to last. You just had to know it, didn't you? Because now we've gone from that and everybody being happy that Batista's coming back. And it seemed like at the moment when Batista's coming back, everybody should have known or probably did know that Batista was going to win the Royal Rumble. And they seemed okay with it. To now all of a sudden we're at the end of February and Batista is getting huge boo chants. He's getting Boo-tista chants. And people are shitting all over this guy and knocking this guy and talking trash about this guy and calling him just another part-timer stealing a big spot from a full-time guy and all this other crap. You know, and like I said, the double standards and the hypocrisy of the YWC and the IWC just absolutely astound me. Now, if somebody, let's say like a Chris Jericho comes back, or an RVD comes back, it's okay if they come back on a part-time basis because, by God, you know, they wrestle the type of match that we like to watch on the internet. So that's okay. And don't give me that bullshit about Jericho coming back and putting people over. It's still the same principle applies that he comes back, he gets put into big spots, he's given big matches, even if he's only going to be there part-time. And who's to say that Batista doesn't come back and eventually put some people over? Who's to say that? And then as far as RVD, nobody's sitting there talking about RVD getting a spot for 90 days and then going away for a few months or come back for another 90 days, go away for a few months. Everybody's okay with that. People shitted all over The Rock because he was a part-timer getting a big-time spot, even though clearly a lot of internet fans don't seem to want to comprehend the business side of the WWE and henceforth don't understand why the WWE doesn't pay attention to the internet wrestling community because clearly they don't understand basic business principles 101, even though knowing damn good and well if they were in the position of power and decision-making like a Vincent K. McMahon, if you had the ability to bring back a Rock to be a headline part of 3 straight WrestleManias, you would do it every fucking time, and you know you would, you hypocrites and liars. It's ridiculous. But then if a Brock Lesnar comes back and he works occasionally and he gets all these big matches at big pay-per-views, oh, it's okay because he's Brock Lesnar. He's one of the guys from the past. So what the fuck? So it's a bad thing that Batista comes back and he's getting put into big spots. But if a Y2J came back tomorrow, it was going to be like him and CM Punk and Daniel Bryan in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 30 for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, you'd be sitting there going, no, we're going to back to that. Oh, this is awesome. Ah, Jesus Christ. Make up your damn minds. And now all of a sudden, people are all upset, even though they should have seen this coming. Because you should clearly understand and know how the WWE is going to operate. You're so upset and frustrated with the WWE because CM Punk left. CM Punk left. I don't give a damn what the company did. It doesn't matter if he had some valid points because he did. The bottom line is he was a contractually obligated employee and he violated the terms of his contract, you could argue, by leaving the company, by picking up his ball and going home, not fulfilling his scheduled dates and appearances. Something that could potentially sacrifice future royalties and all of that, because again, it would be a violation of his contract. For all of you idiots that are sitting there chanting for this guy, what part of he quit and he walked out do you not understand? Do not blame a Batista for that. Batista has nothing to do with CM Punk walking out. You sit there and say, well, CM Punk's mad because a guy like him comes in and gets a big-time spot. Well, you know what? Too fucking bad. That's just part of the business world sometimes. I do not begrudge CM Punk for leaving if he sits there and feels like he made all the money he wanted to do and he's tired and he just doesn't want to do it anymore. That's his choice. That's his life. That's his decision. But don't sit there and take it out on Batista. It's not like Batista held a gun to his head and told him he needed to leave. It's not like Triple H or Vince McMahon fired CM Punk. I highly doubt they would do that. CM Punk made the decision to walk out on the company, to walk out on you, the people that sit there and chant for him, that buy his merchandise, that apparently don't realize that he doesn't really give a shit about you. But again, you take that out of Batista. And then you get to Daniel Bryan. Now all of a sudden, so many of you are upset that Daniel Bryan didn't get in the Royal Rumble match, that he didn't win the damn Royal Rumble, that he didn't win the belt at Elimination Chamber, and it looks like he's not going to be in the title match at WrestleMania 30. Oh my God. Is that the type of environment we're going to have as fans now from here on going forward? That it's all about one guy and one guy only? And everything else can be star-spangled awesome. But by God, if Daniel Bryan doesn't win the match you fucking think he should, then everything else is shit. If Daniel Bryan doesn't get treated exactly the way you feel he should be treated, then everything else is shit. If Daniel Bryan ever loses a fucking wrestling match now, you're going to be pissed off. So you want the guy to basically get the John Cena treatment, the Randy Orton treatment, the Sheamus treatment that you've been rebelling against for fucking years. And that's exactly what you seem to want. You want Daniel Bryan to win every fucking match, because there's no way you can tell me right now you want him to lose to any damn body. The way you're acting like a bunch of petulant, spoiled brat children. It's ridiculous. I get the whole thing about Daniel Bryan being held down. I get the whole thing about you wanting the best for him, because yes, he deserves it. But damn it all, when a company brings back a guy like Batista and the ratings boost up a little bit, and he does have a name and appeal, even if you don't think it's there, it is clearly there. You cannot begrudge the WWE for making what they feel is a better business decision. Daniel Bryan's not one of the top merchandise sellers in the WWE. He's not one of the top ratings getters in the WWE. And again, that is verifiable facts. All of that are. You know, this is a guy here that main evented SummerSlam 2013, and even Vince McMahon himself sat there and said that the buy rate was disappointing, and apparently the people didn't buy the attraction. Well, the attraction was John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. And yes, at times I feel like the WWE tries to deflect any and all blame from bad drawing numbers for pay-per-views or live event crowds away from John Cena onto other individuals. But the fact of the matter is, Daniel Bryan was part of that attraction too. So if you were the WWE and you were Vince McMahon and you had built one of your big four shows around the attraction of Daniel Bryan potentially winning the title, only to sit there and not get the result that you thought, wouldn't you be a little hesitant to put this guy in the top spot? Look, he is over his shit with the live event crowd going, yes, yes, yes. It creates an awesome experience. But my God, I'm hearing fans talk about he needs that long validating title run. No bullshit. The champion makes the belt. The belt doesn't make the champion, especially if the champion is worth any fucking thing at all. You could be a legend without ever winning a WWE title. Ask Roddy Piper. Ask Jake the Snake Roberts how that works. Ask Mr. Perfect how that works. When you sit there and talk about having to have those long title reigns, what was Austin's longest title reign? What was The Rock's longest title reign? What was Undertaker's longest title reign? What was Mick Foley's longest title reign? The champion makes the belt. The belt doesn't make the champion, especially if the champion matters at fucking all. Now, am I 100% happy with the fact that the WWE is, you know, kind of at times it seems like spitting in your face and sitting there and doing things just to kind of troll you and piss you off? No, it doesn't please me. But I've been talking about that shit for years. And yet so many of you sit there and think, oh, we're going to hijack the show, and we're going to hijack the crowd, and we're going to do all this dumb crap. You've been doing it with Cena for almost a fucking decade, and it hasn't worked. They still do what they want to do. So you think now that by booing Batista and chanting Bootista and all this other hot garbage and showing your anger at the WWE at Batista, a guy who came back, that should be a good thing for the WWE, who's not going to be just some part-timer, a guy who is actually scheduled, it looks like, to wrestle a relatively full-time schedule over the next 2 years. You're hating on him, and you're pissed off at him about the fact that your boy Daniel Bryan isn't the champ and isn't going to be the champ for fucking ever. Stop acting like such spoiled brats here. Like a bunch of petulant little snot-nosed rotten kids. Seriously. I hope Daniel Bryan gets his moment. I hope he does get a little bit of a title reign because from a storyline standpoint, it's going to make a lot of sense. But all of you that sit there and say, oh, if Batista coming back and winning the Rumble was stupid. Okay, so let me ask you this. At Royal Rumble 2015, if CM Punk came back as a surprise entrant and he won the Royal Rumble, oh, imagine that. Magically, that wouldn't be a fucking problem. That'd be awesome. Well, you got to find a way to put the belt on Daniel Bryan or Dolph Ziggler, and then CM Punk's got to face him at WrestleMania, and it'd be awesome. I mean, the double standards and the hypocrisy here are just ridiculous. You don't like Batista, even though you were clamoring for him to get back. You don't like Batista now because he doesn't work the same type of style as, let's say, in Y2J and in RVD, and that's part of it too. Because you look at Batista and you think of the old steroid WWE and their love of the big guys, being the muscle marks and all this other hot garbage. Well, from a business standpoint, Batista's a part of a big-time movie this summer, Guardians of the Galaxy. There's going to be a lot of mainstream press and publicity coming from him being involved with the WWE product and doing the movie. That's part of doing business. That is good business to have a guy like that featured on your show that's going to get a lot of mainstream attention and potentially some new eyeballs on the WWE, something that is apparently a foreign and unfamiliar and unknown and not understandable concept to so many fans on the internet after all of these years. It absolutely astounds me. If you want to watch people break their necks to put on matches in front of 200 people and not feature anybody over 6 foot and 240 pounds, then go fucking watch ROH. Go watch damn TNA, especially ROH. If that's what you're into, then go watch that. If you don't like what the WWE is doing to the point where you're talking about, I'm going to hijack the show and I'm going to sit there and not watch the show even though I'm still going to watch it. And I hate this company even though I'm going to buy the WWE network any fucking way. Does that make any sense? You're so pissed off at the company and the fact of what they're doing with Batista. You buy the WWE network and you're streaming their shit. You're giving them your money. You're still buying their merch. You're still watching them on television. Does that make any fucking sense? Batista is back. What are you going to say if in a couple of months or next, let's say at Extreme Rules or a little bit farther down the road, what are you going to say if he puts over Daniel Bryan? What are you going to say then? You'll have nothing to say. You'll have absolutely nothing to say. But yet you'll still find a way to bitch about it, and you'll still find a way to say something about it. Even if a Batista ended up putting over Daniel Bryan. You would think that would be something you'd really like, but you'd be like, no, that's not what we want. This should have been CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan because they're the two best motherfucking wrestlers in the world. Oh, Christ almighty. Come on, guys. Get with it a little bit. Get with the program. You should know by now how the WWE does business. This should not be a great surprise to you. And you should also know that you're not always going to get everything you want. Even as much as it frustrates me, I know I'm not going to get a lot of the shit that I want out of the WWE. And who's to sit there and say, if Daniel Bryan gets Triple H at WrestleMania 30 and he beats Triple H at WrestleMania 30, would that not be something that would get 70,000 plus people to chant yes, yes, yes? Would that not make storyline sense because of what Triple H and the Authority has done to Daniel Bryan since SummerSlam? Oh no. If it doesn't result in Daniel Bryan being champion, it doesn't fucking matter. Oh, get the hell out of here. We're going to boo Batista and we're going to try and hijack and we're going to force him heel. The WWE is going to do what the hell they want to do. Idiots. Seriously. And as far as Batista, I'm glad Batista's back and I'm standing behind that. With their inability to make big-time stars, and it still remains to be seen with guys like Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns, whether they actually will make them, or Cesaro or whoever, whether they're actually going to make these guys big-time stars, or they'll just dick tease us and they'll end up ruining them like they did a Ryback and so many damn others over the past few years. Why? Because, we got to keep Cena and Orton at the top and all this other crap. All this talk about, oh my God, that main event at WrestleMania 30 is going to be terrible between Orton and Batista. Come on. Get over yourselves. Seriously. Batista is back. And that's a good thing. Whether you want to acknowledge it, accept it or not. Hashtag deal with it. I'm sorry if it pisses off a lot of you, because you want Daniel Bryan to win that belt at WrestleMania 30. I like Daniel Bryan. The guy has worked incredibly hard to get where he's gotten, and at some point in time, he does deserve his due and his just desserts and his reward, and he deserves a little bit of a run, a chance to actually break through that glass ceiling that is the Breakfast Club and become the top guy in the WWE. I completely agree with all of that. But stop acting like such spoiled brats when it doesn't happen the exact second in the exact way you want.